first, thanks, Virgie, for having this little sit down with me. I appreciate it. But ever since you came out to our team and spoke to our team at our offsite that year, I've really regretted the fact that we didn't record anything. So thanks for sitting down with me today. But I want to start off by talking about AAMVC. Tell me a little bit about AAMVC.
The Veteran Cemetery buried the first person there in August of 2010, which was the same year that I had back surgery and did not dance around as much as I had before. But I didn't have a real connection with the cemetery. When my husband died, he was an Air Force retiree, there was no question in my mind, and we didn't have plans because he was one of these guys that said, oh well, when I'm dead somebody will figure it out, which was me. I had to figure it out.
What year was that? What year did
2011 when he died.
2011.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had him cremated, and then his ashes were buried in Garden 1 at the cemetery.
That's near the gate, right?
That's the first one when you come in the gate, and it's the first one. It's on the right, and the plots are a little smaller because they hold an urn rather than a casket.
Gotcha.
A little while later, maybe just a few months later, that puts me on the next of kin list. I got a letter saying, we're going to start an assistance league. They didn't have an organization. And here's the rationale for having a private organization with this kind of, with the state cemetery, is that the state people can't accept money and donations.
Oh.
I mean, there has to be funding to do certain things. The wreaths, for example, as you know quite a bit about.
Yeah.
And so there had to be a private organization, and there wasn't one. So I kind of started it.
So the community can give directly to AAMVC.
Yes. When someone, first of all, any veteran is eligible, as long as they have an honorable discharge. And when your remains go through that gate, there is no charge ever in perpetuity. It's all taken care of after your remains are there. You have to go to I think it's Missouri law, you have to go to the funeral home to do certain things. They have to tell Social Security that you're no longer alive or something like that.
I think they do that.
I think so, yes. So our mission was to get enough money. That was a big purpose. And when somebody dies and there's no charge for anything, people want to give a donation in memory of this person.
Sure, yeah.
And it'd be like you can't pay the general for a color guard.
Right.
So it'd be like that, you can't do that. So they had to have a private organization, which meant we had to write bylaws, we had to go through the state and get chartered.
You're the right person.
Well, basically there was another person who said, I went with the idea, I'm not going to run this, I'm not going to run this thing. Well, as it turned out, yeah, I was, and I stood up the organization. And I was there for 7 years.
Well, very good.
Yes.
And so what was your official title there?
President.
President of AAMVC.
Of AAMVC.
Very good.
Yes.
So you have stepped down now from AAMVC, correct?
I did. I was 7 years, and I thought because of, I believe so much in the rotation of leadership, and that probably comes from my military experience. You rotate. And especially as we, and I'm one of them, get older, I want to pass on what I know to a newer generation. And so you have to let go and give it to somebody else. And I felt that the organization had gotten to the point of sustainability, which was important. I think there's no way this organization can fail because more and more people are dying. The first year we had maybe 200 wreaths at the most. And now it's up in the hundreds, approaching 1,000.
Yeah. So speaking about your military career, tell me a little bit about it. Can you start a little bit from the beginning, like where did you serve, when did you serve?
Okay, I joined the Air Force. I'm an Air Force veteran. Okay. I joined the Air Force in 1964, 65. Vietnam was going on.
What were you doing in Vietnam?
I didn't go to Vietnam. They wouldn't let me go to Vietnam.
They wouldn't let
back
you.
then,
You
guys. Back then, there were a lot of things they didn't let girls do, and one of them was I could not set foot in the country. I could support from afar, and recreation specialists, who were lovingly called donut dollies, they were permitted to go in the country, or a nurse. But I was neither. I was a public affairs officer, so. I was stationed in Japan. In fact, I was on an airplane once, R&R, you folks know what that is. And the airplane landed in Saigon, and they wouldn't even let me get off the plane.
Oh, wow.
No foot. But I love the Air Force. I consider it, being a veteran is probably my proudest achievement.
Yeah. Well, you've done a lot for the community too. What other organizations have you been involved in besides AAMVC?
Well, when I first came, I was in public affairs. That was my job. So part of my job was to be the liaison for many of the community organizations. The Chamber, this Committee of 50, which I could not be.
Did you help start this up too?
No,
Committee of 50?
no. This predates me by far.
Yeah.
But I could not be a member of the Committee of 50 because I was in PAO, so I was a liaison.
Oh, I see.
But when I retired, I joined the Committee of 50.
Very good. What other organizations?
I started the Red Hats.
I've seen them.
Bless
I've
their
seen
heart.
them in restaurants and all over.
They're still operating. I do not go on a regular basis anymore, but there are, some who really need that. But
There was a large group at
And we-
La Familia like a week ago.
Yes.
They had the whole side of La Familia.
That's right. That's right.
And it was
That's
a big
right.
group, so
it was
they're
real.
going strong.
Yeah, it was real active. I mean, the group has never, they just do lunch once. People said, what do? They don't volunteer. They don't bake cookies. They don't whatever. They've kind of been there and done that. They just want to get together and have lunch, and that's what they do.
Yeah. And I've seen you at Rotary.
Oh, yes.
Correct?
I'm very
Tell me about Rotary. What
I
all
have
have you
been
done with
very
Rotary?
involved in Rotary. Well, this Rotary group, the Rotary Club of Pulaski County was chartered in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was a charter member. And Rotary is an international service organization. There are 1.2 million Rotarians in the world. So wherever you go, there is a Rotary
Always
Club.
Rotary. Mm-hmm.
Now I've done the programs for several years for Rotary, which gave me an opportunity to spread the word about Rotary. But now what I'm really focused on Rotary-wise is helping Jackie with her year as district governor. The Rotary district over which she's going to be the governor has 51 Rotary clubs.
Well, I didn't know that.
I know, you don't know a lot
Good
of
info.
things.
I know I told you. You
I'm
need
a walking
to tell me.
Well, I would love
That's
for
what
you.
today is all about.
Okay,
Tell me
good.
more.
Good. Yeah.
Well, do you have any questions for me? Turn the tables. Just for a second.
Questions for you. Well, I know that you've done really well, and I'll put this in, and you don't have to edit this, okay? Because I was around when Johna started her business. What was it called at first? The Three Army Wives?
Oh, the Army Wives. Yeah, just
The Army
Wives.
The Army Wives, and there were like 3 of you, I think.
Yes. Yep.
And I saw you, I had been what year was that?
I started in 2005, but the Army Wives was around 2007.
Okay, but see, I had retired in '96 and become a member, and we just needed more people, women-owned businesses. I really
Absolutely.
felt so. And when you started, I thought, please let her make a go of this, because it's a feat. I could just see it, and so it's been really fun to watch you.
Well, thank you. That's really nice. I'm glad you even noticed. I didn't even know you noticed.
Oh yes, yes. I
You didn't have
noticed.
to ask that part, by the way.
I know, but
This is
I've
about
noticed
you.
and I've watched.
I really appreciate you, though. Thanks for sitting down with me for a few minutes.
I hope this does what you want it to do.
If you ever need anything, you can holler at us, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.